The way that Pennington Choices responded to the pandemic didn't surprise me at all.
They were faced with exactly the same challenges as everyone else.
Things in the media were starting to build around coronavirus, what impact that was going to have on everyone. And
each time, Boris Johnson spoke on the TV, you knew within 10 or 15 minutes of him coming off the TV that there'd be an email or a message from Mark or someone from board with guidance, or just telling you, listen, we've seen this and we're acting on it and we've got a plan. And
communication has been open, they've been honest, they've been realistic, which is really important, so no false hope.
It was almost like Mark had a crystal ball, or the senior team had a crystal ball, and they knew what was going to happen, or they could predict. I mean, he predicted the second wave straight away.
They were saying what they thought was going to happen, they were saying what their response might be, and I think that was really important, because then I felt assured that regardless of the outcome, I know that they're doing the best for the company.
He deciphered Boris's announcements and then how they would affect Pennington Choices. So if Boris said this is going to happen, then Mark would then come back and say, right, well, this is how it looks like for Pennington Choices and this is how it will affect us.
I can't begin to imagine how the wider business was trying to absorb that information and adapt to it. Really very, very difficult, and actually, really deeply impressed with how the business has done that, to be honest.
I mean, it must have been a very scary time. Well, it still is a scary time for a business owner, but I think he handled it fantastic. He kept us all informed. The next steps were always discussed. We were included in decisions. So yeah, very, very well done.
So in the consultancy team, we were quite fortunate that we could work from home, but we have large bits of the business that's actually, surveillance services, that, they need to be out and about. That's how they, the only way in which they can do their job. So Pennington were really good about allowing those of us that could work from home to do so, and actively supporting us to do that, because that was the way in which it was best for us to keep delivering our services, but then also putting things in place to support those who were going to be out still in the field.
The good thing that I found about Pennington Choices during the furlough is that you were constantly in contact with people on your team, other people from other teams. We had constant communication from the senior leaders and briefings from Mark, so you never felt out of the loop. You always knew where you were up to, which was nice, because the rest of the world didn't really. We all felt in limbo, didn't we? But we knew where we stood with Pennington Choices, so that was really reassuring, because you sort of always knew you could pick up the phone or Zoom. And have a chat with someone, which was nice.
So realistically for me, being at home was no different. I still had the support of the company around me, and it was just that I was sat at a kitchen table instead of my desk.
Mental health and well-being was quite a high priority, it seemed, for them, which was great as well. They put on quite a lot of initiatives for people in furlough and working.
So there was lots of things that they did in terms of trying to keep people engaged, but to keep that sense of team as well, because it's one of the things that's really big for us as a company is, teamwork and that sort of approach of supporting each other and working collectively within our own areas of the business. But across the piece, they put things in place. We had weekly quizzes,
exercise classes. So we did Pilates, and we did like a HIIT class every week. And we also did mindfulness and meditation, which was really popular.
And they were happy for you, if you were, like me, still working, that you could take half an hour to go do a yoga class if it helped, or if you wanted to, which was great. It made me feel really supported and valued.
And that's been lovely as well, because it wasn't just one site that got involved, it was all sites that got involved. So that was really nice, because even though we were all sort of sat at home in lockdown, we were still having contact with people, and also people that we might not have had contact with if we were in work, so that was nice as well.
And I think it's proven that actually people can still be productive at home. People can still make a difference. You don't have to be in the office all the time, but it's just having that balance and having the trust in people that they're gonna do the job, they're still gonna get the work done. just because they're not in the office. So I think that trust is a massive thing.
Mark was very clear on, trying to preserve Pennington's, trying to sort of, make sure that Pennington's survived the pandemic, if you like, and also that, one of his main aims was to, look after everybody and make sure that sort of no one was left behind.
I think one of his taglines during the pandemic was, "It's not your job to worry about this, it's my job to worry about this." There was a very human approach to the whole pandemic, in that I think he said, we'll never leave anyone behind. And you believed him when he said that, and you believe board when they said that, because they've got good foundations behind them. Anything they've ever said they were going to do, they've done.
Practices, the performances that were put in place have worked, and it goes to prove that we can do it. It might not be comfortable at first, it's not our norm, but we can do it, and we've proved it as a company. We're still here, we're still going to be here, because we're resilient.
Everybody just wanted the same thing, that everybody just wanted to make sure that we came out of this as a business and we strived, which I think we have done.
I really think the way that they've dealt with it is commendable. But again, it's not a surprise, because I know that that's, they live by their guiding principles, and I have every confidence in them, and always have done, really. It's only really reinforced those thoughts.
I think they were just fair. I think they gave the right consideration to everything, and to sort of coin one of Mark's phrases, doing the right things in the right way. And I think, if anything, that is what I think they did.
And I don't think they could have handled it any better, to be honest with you.
We're kind of like one big family, really, and I think that's what made us work so well through the pandemic, is that we felt like we owed it to each other to work well, because we all respect each other. We respect board, and board respect us.
I think it's made a lot of people here trust the wider Pennington business more than they did before, and it's not that they didn't before, it's just been a really good exercise for them in having seen people with core values, core principles, and sticking to them.